Hello and welcome. I want you to take a moment and picture yourself walking down the health aisle at the grocery store or the pharmacy. On one side, you have your prescriptions, carefully regulated and dispensed. But on the other side, it's a whole different world. It's a wall of bottles, all with beautiful labels and even more beautiful promises. Sharper memory, stronger bones, more energy, a younger you. It's overwhelming, isn't it? And if you've ever felt a little lost in that aisle, you are certainly not alone. Did you know that about 70% of Americans over the age of 65 take some kind of daily supplement? As a nation, we spend over $12 billion a year on them. As a pharmacist, I see this every single day. I see people with the best of intentions, people who are proactive and deeply care about their health, spending their hard-earned money on these bottles, hoping to buy a little bit of security, a little bit of control over the aging process. And my goal today, as your ally in this journey, is to help you navigate that confusing aisle. It's to help you save money, and more importantly, to help you stay safe by pulling back the curtain on what the science actually says. We're going to talk about 5 specific supplements that are heavily marketed to seniors. Supplements that often end up being a waste of money and in some cases can even be risky. The marketing for these is incredibly clever, but our goal here is to shift from being influenced by marketing to being empowered by evidence. Now, before we dive in, I want to be perfectly clear. This is not an anti-supplement video. I am not here to tell you all supplements are bad. Far from it. For some people, certain supplements are absolutely essential. A doctor might find that you have a vitamin D deficiency, which is common, or that you have trouble absorbing vitamin B12, another common issue as we age. In those cases, under medical guidance, supplementing is the smart and healthy thing to do. What we're talking about today is different. We're talking about the general-purpose supplements that people often take without a specific diagnosed need, based purely on advertising or a well-meaning friend's advice. We're going to count down from number 5 to number 1, and I promise you, some of these will surprise you. We'll be looking at what major health institutions, like the National Institutes of Health and Johns Hopkins Medicine, have to say. By the end of our time together, you won't just know what to avoid, you'll understand why, and you'll feel more confident in making choices that truly support your health. And a quick but important reminder, I am a pharmacist, and the information I'm sharing today is for educational purposes and is based on current scientific evidence. It is not a substitute for personal medical advice. Your health situation is unique. You have a specific health history and may be taking specific medications. Therefore, it is absolutely essential that you speak with your personal doctor or pharmacist before starting, stopping, or changing any supplement regimen. They are your best partners in health. All right, let's begin our countdown with the number 5 supplement that seniors are often tricked into buying. This is one that feels so responsible, so proactive. It's the insurance policy in a bottle, the daily multivitamin. The scenario is familiar to millions. You sit down for breakfast, pour your coffee, and right next to your plate is that little pill organizer. You pop out your daily multivitamin, thinking, well, at least I've got my bases covered. It feels like a smart, simple step to ensure you're getting everything you need, a nutritional safety net for days when your diet might not be perfect. The logic seems unshakable. Why wouldn't you take one? Well, here's the why. For the average senior who does not have a diagnosed nutritional deficiency and eats a reasonably balanced diet, a daily multivitamin has been shown time and time again to be largely unnecessary. Think of your body like a glass of water. If the glass is already full, adding more water just causes it to spill over. Your body can only absorb and use so many vitamins and minerals at one time. The rest, it's often just flushed out, creating what pharmacists sometimes call expensive urine. The U.S. Preventive Services Task Force, a highly respected independent panel of national experts in disease prevention, has looked at the evidence extensively. Their conclusion is clear. They advise against the use of daily multivitamins for the prevention of chronic diseases like cancer or heart disease in healthy adults. They simply couldn't find significant evidence that they provide a real benefit. I remember a gentleman who came into my pharmacy. Let's call him Arthur. Arthur was meticulous. He had his chart of supplements, and on the top of the list was a very expensive, senior-specific multivitamin that cost him nearly $40 a month. He was proud of it. But in conversation, he mentioned that his lunches were often just a can of soup and some crackers, and dinner was frequently a frozen meal because he was tired. I gently pointed out that the $40 he was spending on that bottle could be reinvested into his grocery budget. It could buy several bags of spinach, a carton of eggs, some fresh berries, or a nice piece of salmon. The real insurance policy wasn't in the pill, it was in the produce aisle. The most powerful health benefits come from the complex symphony of nutrients, fiber, and compounds found in whole foods, something a single pill can never replicate. So the action step here is to try a food-first audit. Before you renew that multivitamin prescription, challenge yourself for 1 week to consciously add more color to your plate. Aim for a variety of fruits and vegetables. The money you save on that bottle could be the very thing that funds this healthier habit. Now, the red flag, the time when you should talk to your doctor about this, is if you have specific underlying conditions. If you've had bariatric surgery, if you have a malabsorption disorder like Crohn's disease, or if you follow a very restrictive diet like veganism, your doctor may very well recommend a multivitamin or specific nutrient supplements. But for the general population, investing in your grocery list is almost always a better bet than investing in that bottle. Now, moving from the idea of a general insurance policy for your health brings us to a much more alluring and specific promise. This brings us to number 4, so-called anti-aging formulas, with the most famous ingredient often being resveratrol. It's impossible to browse the internet these days without seeing an ad for a supplement like this. The marketing is brilliant. You'll see a picture of a silver-haired person hiking a mountain or laughing with their grandchildren, looking impossibly vibrant. The implication is that a secret ingredient, often something exotic like resveratrol, is the key to turning back the clock. It taps directly into our desire, not just to live longer, but to live with more vitality. Who wouldn't want to buy a pill that promises that? The science behind resveratrol is fascinating, which is why it became a marketing darling. Resveratrol is a compound found in the skin of red grapes, in blueberries, and in peanuts. In laboratory studies on yeast, worms, and mice, researchers found that high doses of resveratrol could mimic the effects of calorie restriction, a practice known to extend lifespan in many species. The theory was that it activates sirtuins, proteins sometimes called longevity genes. The media ran with this, and a billion-dollar industry was born. But here's the crucial part. What works in a petri dish or a mouse does not always work in a human being. A major review published in the National Center for Biotechnology Information, looking at the wealth of human trials, concluded that there is simply not enough evidence to recommend resveratrol supplements for anti-aging benefits in humans. The doses used in animal studies are often hundreds of times greater than what you could get from a supplement, and the effects in people have been inconsistent and underwhelming. I think about my own grandmother. She lived a vibrant life into her 90s. Her anti-aging formula wasn't a pill. It was her daily walk to the post office, her weekly bridge game with her friends, the vegetable garden she tended in her backyard, and the library books she devoured every week. She was active, she was socially engaged, and she was always learning. That is the real, evidence-based anti-aging formula. The most effective investments in your longevity and vitality are almost always lifestyle-based, not supplement-based. So here is your action step. The next time you are tempted by a $30 or $40 bottle of an anti-aging supplement, take that money and invest it directly into a real anti-aging activity. Sign up for a yoga class, buy a new pair of comfortable walking shoes, take a friend out for a healthy lunch. The return on that investment in terms of both your physical and mental well-being will be infinitely greater than what you'll get from that pill. The red flag here is for those on blood-thinning medication. Resveratrol can have antiplatelet effects, meaning it can increase the risk of bleeding if you're taking medications like warfarin, clopidogrel, or even just daily aspirin. It is absolutely critical to speak with your doctor before even considering it. From the vague and lofty promise of anti-aging, let's move on to a supplement taken for a very specific and common complaint. This brings us to number 3 on our list: iron supplements when they are not medically necessary. Feeling tired is one of the most pervasive complaints I hear from people of all ages, but especially from my senior customers. That afternoon slump, that feeling of just not having the get up and go you used to, it's incredibly common. And because we've all heard that iron is related to energy, it's so easy to make the leap and think, maybe I'm a little anemic, maybe I just need some iron. You see the bottles on the shelf promising to boost energy, and it seems like a simple, logical fix. The reason this is a trap is twofold. First, while iron is crucial for creating hemoglobin, the protein in red blood cells that carries oxygen, most seniors in the United States get plenty of iron from their diet. Unless you have been specifically diagnosed with iron deficiency anemia through a blood test, taking extra iron is not only unnecessary, it can be problematic. The most common side effect of iron pills is constipation, which can be a significant and uncomfortable problem for many older adults, sometimes leading to a cascade of other issues like straining and hemorrhoids. More seriously, your body has no easy way to get rid of excess iron. It can build up in your organs and tissues over time, a condition called iron overload or hemochromatosis, which can cause serious damage to the liver, heart, and pancreas. According to UCSF Health's guidelines, routine iron supplementation is not recommended for seniors unless there's a clear diagnosis. I'll never forget a woman named Mary who came into the pharmacy looking for a stronger laxative. Through our conversation, I learned she had started taking an iron supplement a few months prior because her daughter told her it would help with her fatigue. No doctor was involved. It turned out the iron was causing severe constipation, which was making her feel bloated, uncomfortable, and even more sluggish. We encouraged her to see her doctor, who did a blood test and found her iron levels were perfectly normal. The root cause of her fatigue wasn't iron at all. It was a combination of poor sleep and dehydration. She stopped the iron, focused on hydration and her sleep habits, and within a few weeks felt dramatically better. She had been treating the wrong problem with the wrong solution. The clear action step here is simple. Never, ever self-diagnose an iron deficiency. If you are experiencing persistent fatigue, pale skin, weakness, or shortness of breath, these are red flags. But they are a signal to call your doctor, not to go to the supplement aisle. A simple blood test can tell you exactly what your iron levels are. If they are low, your doctor will prescribe the correct dose for you. If they are normal, you and your doctor can then investigate the real cause of your fatigue. Often, the best way to support healthy energy levels is to ensure you're eating iron-rich foods like lean meats, beans, lentils, and dark leafy greens, and pairing them with a source of vitamin C, like a splash of lemon juice or a side of bell peppers, which dramatically enhances iron absorption. All right, let's just take a quick pause here. We are halfway through our list, and we've already covered some major ground. We've seen why the insurance policy of a daily multivitamin often doesn't pay out for most healthy seniors. We've peeled back the marketing on anti-aging formulas to see that the real fountain of youth is in our daily habits. And we've learned that reaching for an iron pill for fatigue without a doctor's diagnosis can often cause more problems than it solves. The common thread here is the power of evidence over advertising. It's about being a savvy, informed guardian of your own health. If you are finding this information helpful and empowering, I would be so grateful if you took just a single moment to tap that like button below this video. It tells YouTube that this content is valuable, and it helps other people just like you find this information. We have 2 more to go, and they are arguably the most important, as they both relate to something we all want to protect, our brain health and our cognitive function. So please, stick with me. Let's move on to number 2. This is a supplement that for decades has been hailed as a miracle for brain health, and it's one where the marketing message of more is better can be particularly dangerous. We're talking about high-dose vitamin E. We all want to keep our minds as sharp as a tack for as long as possible. The fear of cognitive decline is very real. So when you see a supplement that has been promoted as brain food or something that can protect your memory, it's natural to be interested. It comes from a place of wanting to protect your future self. You might see a bottle on the shelf that contains 400 international units, or IU, or even 1,000 IU of vitamin E, and it's easy to assume that this higher potency must offer more protection. Here is where we need to be extremely cautious. Vitamin E is an important fat-soluble antioxidant. In our food, from sources like almonds, sunflower seeds, and spinach, it plays a vital role in protecting our cells from damage. The science gets tricky when we isolate it and take it in high doses in supplement form. A landmark, headline-making study from researchers at Johns Hopkins Medicine analyzed the results of 19 different clinical trials. Their conclusion was stunning and stark. They found that taking high-dose vitamin E supplements, specifically doses at or above 400 IU per day, was associated with a higher risk of death from all causes. Let me repeat that, because it's so important. Taking high doses was linked to a higher risk of mortality. The very thing people were taking to extend their healthy years could potentially have the opposite effect. Now, to add a layer of complexity, some research has suggested a potential benefit in specific situations. For instance, one study found that the combined use of vitamin E and vitamin C supplements was linked to a lower risk of Alzheimer's. But taking either vitamin on its own didn't have the same protective effect. What this tells us is that the way nutrients interact in our body is incredibly complex, and trying to megadose with a single, isolated vitamin can upset a delicate balance. The marketing on the bottle won't tell you this. It will tell you about the Johns Hopkins study or the nuances of the research. It will just show you the high number and let you assume that it's better. My personal reflection on this as a pharmacist is seeing how good marketing can twist a necessary nutrient into a potential hazard. It takes the truth that vitamin E is good for you and pushes it to a dangerous extreme. The safe, effective, and frankly more enjoyable action step is to get your vitamin E from your diet. A single ounce of almonds or sunflower seeds provides a significant amount of your daily need, along with fiber, healthy fats, and other minerals. Eating spinach, broccoli, and avocados also contributes. This food-first approach ensures you get the vitamin in the balanced, natural context your body was designed to handle. The red flag, and this is a critical one, is to never take high-dose vitamin E for general prevention. The only time you should consider such a dose is if it is specifically prescribed by your doctor, very often a neurologist, for a diagnosed condition like Alzheimer's or macular degeneration, where they have weighed the potential benefits against the known risks for your individual case. And that brings us to the number one supplement that seniors are most frequently tricked or perhaps convinced into buying. This is the undisputed king of the memory supplement world. We are talking about Ginkgo Biloba. I put this at number one because the promise it offers addresses one of our deepest and most profound fears: the fear of losing our minds, our memories, and our very identity to diseases like dementia and Alzheimer's. When your loved one starts to have those senior moments, misplacing keys or forgetting a name, the anxiety is real. Reaching for a bottle of Ginkgo Biloba can feel like you're taking action, like you're fighting back and taking some control. It's sold everywhere, often with dramatic claims about improving memory, concentration, and preventing cognitive decline. Ginkgo Biloba is an extract from the leaves of the maidenhair tree, one of the oldest living tree species. It has been used in traditional Chinese medicine for centuries. Because of this history, and some early, small studies that suggested it might increase blood flow to the brain, it became the subject of intense scientific research. And here is the bottom line, the thing the commercials and bottle labels won't tell you. The overwhelming majority of large-scale, high-quality modern studies have found that Ginkgo Biloba does not work for preventing cognitive decline or dementia. The most definitive study was called the Ginkgo Evaluation of Memory, or GEM study. It was sponsored by the National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health, part of our own National Institutes of Health. It was a massive study, following over 3,000 older adults for an average of 6 years. The results, published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, were unequivocal. They found that Ginkgo Biloba was no better than a placebo at preventing dementia or Alzheimer's disease. It also showed no effect on the rate of normal age-related memory decline. But it's not just ineffective. It can be dangerous. This brings us back to a critical fact. Natural does not mean safe. Ginkgo Biloba has significant blood-thinning properties. As a pharmacist, this sets off major alarm bells. If a person is taking a prescription blood thinner like warfarin or Eliquis, or even just the daily low-dose aspirin for heart health, adding Ginkgo Biloba to the mix can dramatically increase the risk of serious, even life-threatening bleeding. I once had a customer whose family brought him in because he was bruising very easily. In reviewing his medications, we discovered he had recently started taking ginkgo, which a friend at his senior center had recommended for his memory. He was also on daily aspirin. He was, in effect, double dosing on blood thinners without even realizing it, all because he thought it's just a natural herb. We had him stop the ginkgo immediately and consult his doctor. The empowered action step here is to pivot away from the disproven promise of a pill and toward the proven strategies for brain health. What does the science say really works? Regular physical activity, even just brisk walking, is one of the most powerful things you can do for your brain. So is a heart-healthy diet like the Mediterranean diet, rich in vegetables, fish, and healthy fats. Challenging your brain by learning a new skill, doing puzzles, or reading widely is also key. And finally, maintaining strong social connections is profoundly protective for your cognitive health. These are the things that are truly worth your time, effort, and money. And the red flag is crystal clear. Any memory changes that worry you or begin to interfere with your daily life require a full medical evaluation from your doctor. They do not require a trip to the supplement aisle. So let's bring this all home. We've walked through the supplement aisle together, and I hope you feel a lot more confident and a lot less overwhelmed. Let's reframe this, not as a list of things you're losing, but as a series of victories you've just gained. That's 5 wins for your health and your wallet. Win number 1. You're no longer spending money on a multivitamin that likely isn't helping, freeing up those funds for delicious, nutrient-rich, real food. Win number 2. You can confidently ignore the siren song of expensive anti-aging pills and invest in real, joyful, life-extending activities instead. Win number 3. You've learned to protect your body, especially your digestive system, from the unnecessary burden of iron supplements, unless they are specifically prescribed. Win number 4. You're now aware of the very real risks of high-dose vitamin E and can get this vital nutrient safely from your food. And win number 5. You can let go of the false hope sold in a bottle of Ginkgo Biloba and focus your energy on the proven, powerful lifestyle strategies that truly protect your precious brain health. The core message today is one of empowerment. You are the CEO of your own health. The supplement industry has a product to sell, and their marketing is designed to make you feel like you need it. But you now have the evidence to see past the hype. Your greatest allies are not the claims on a bottle, but your own knowledge, a healthy diet, an active lifestyle, and a strong partnership with your doctor and pharmacist. Always, always talk to them. They can help you understand your unique needs and separate the science from the sales pitch. Now, I would love to hear from you. Which of these 5 supplements was the biggest surprise or the biggest aha moment for you? Please take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments section below. Your experience and your insights can help other people in this community learn and grow as well. And finally, if you enjoyed this deep dive and found it valuable, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that little notification bell. That way, you won't miss out on our future videos designed to help you stay healthy, informed, and empowered. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Be well, stay empowered, and I'll see you in the next video.